Today we're going to discuss very interesting topic. Will be led
Yes.
by Sir Erwin today, which is who is the Buddha's mother.
Yes.
So we are wonder who is Buddha's mother.
So very interesting title. So we'll read it first. I'll just call people and we'll just read one paragraph each.
Okay.
The paragraph is a bit long. Okay. So we'll start with Paul.
Who is the Buddha's mother? All through life, we come across different kinds of parents who nurture our growth and support our development. When born, our biological parents provide care and education. Farmers, artisans, and merchants are parents who provide daily necessities. Wise and virtuous friends are parents who provide development, guidance, and leadership. Mother Earth is also a parent who provides sustenance and life to all beings. Likewise, as causes and conditions give rise to all phenomena one experiences throughout life, they are also like one's parents. Furthermore, according to the Agamas, all beings in samsara have ignorance as one's father and greed as one's mother. In this way, ignorance and greed can also be called one's parents.
And
Okay.
next, Monica.
What about the Buddha? Did he have parents as well? Who were they? Historically speaking, Prince Siddhartha was born to King Suddhodana and Queen Maya, according to the biography of the Buddha. The Buddha, on the other hand, was born from prajna wisdom. In other words, so the Buddha's physical body was born from his human parents, his Dharma body was born from prajna wisdom, the Buddha's true parents. All Buddhas throughout the three time periods rely on prajna wisdom to eliminate the illusive thinking and attain supreme body. What is okay?
Okay, let's have Sheila.
What is prajna wisdom? Prajna wisdom is the true Buddha nature that everyone intrinsically possesses. It is one's original place that neither arises nor ceases, neither comes nor goes, and is bound by neither time, space, or discrimination. Without prajna wisdom, one views all phenomena as mundane dharmas because one is unable to recognize their true nature or understand one's true self. Only with prajna wisdom does one truly have the dharma. For example, the emptiness of the three aspects of giving, the giver, receiver, and the gift, can only be achieved when generosity is practiced with prajna wisdom. Sentient beings are only benefited when one upholds precepts with prajna wisdom. The patience of non-arising dharmas can only be achieved when patience is practiced with prajna wisdom. Tireless and continuous efforts can be made when diligence is practiced with prajna wisdom. Awakening can only be attained when meditative concentration is practiced with prajna wisdom. As shown, prajna wisdom is extremely important.
Luisa, long time no see.
Okay. When there is prajna wisdom, where then is prajna wisdom found? Though prajna wisdom is the complete and perfect attainment that all Buddhas come from, it is not an enigma. Prajna wisdom must be experienced in the everyday life. Once prajna wisdom deviates from daily life, it is lost. The following passage from the opening of the Dharma Sutra illustrates the daily life of the Buddha, which emits the light of prajna wisdom. At mealtime, the world-honored one put on his robe, picked up his bowl, and went into the city of Shravasti to beg for food. Likewise, in Chan, getting dressed, eating, fetching wood, and carrying water, or even raising an eyebrow, blinking, and every physical movement can all embody Prajna wisdom. As the saying goes, in the presence of plum blossoms, the same moon outside the window is then different. An ordinary life infused with Prajna wisdom is a life of liberation and ease.
Janet, you're here. Yes, read one paragraph lang.
Where did it end?
Therefore, yeah. You start with therefore.
Okay, therefore, teachers who educate the next generation of talents according to their students' aptitudes are practicing prajna wisdom. Doctors and nurses who give first-rate medical care and look after the sick and needy are practicing prajna wisdom. Firefighters who jump to the rescue without a thought for themselves are practicing prajna wisdom. Street cleaners who serve the public by cleaning and sweeping streets are practicing prajna wisdom. People who recycle and protect the earth quietly are practicing prajna wisdom.
Jill, how do you pronounce your name? Jill Say?
No sound.
Unmute first.
It's Jill K.
Jill K.
So, by doing good deeds, one has hands of prajna. By speaking good words, one has speech of prajna. By looking at others compassionately, one has eyes of prajna. By having skillful wisdom and an awakened mind, one has a mind of prajna wisdom.
Okay, can you finish the next paragraph?
Wherever prajna wisdom is found, it is a place worthy of honor. Therefore, a person who is able to experience, practice, and share prajna wisdom with others is the most honorable one in this world.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I'll prepare my slide first. Okay. So when Master Yolin was asking us, where's my mouse? I can't find it. To select a topic for us to discuss. When I saw the title, Who is the Buddha's Mother? I volunteered to discuss this topic because I thought it's going to talk about the Buddha's mother, Queen Maya, and in my case, I was able to get into studying Buddhism because of my mother also. So I thought I could easily relate to this topic. But when I start to read the article, I was surprised to see that it's not all about Queen Maya. So bear with me. Along the way, I will ask questions. But if you have answer, you can answer. But I will try to answer it also based on my own understanding. So I'll share my answer. But if you have your own answer also, I would appreciate it also. Because apparently this topic is not just about mother, it's more than that. Okay. So, so in the article, Venerable Master Xing started to talk about the different kinds of parents. So he talks about the parents that nurture our growth and support our development. So he started with the biological parents of that provide care and education. Okay, and he started to talk about farmers, artisans, and merchants who provide our daily necessities. So when I was reading, still very early in this article, I was already surprised. So he was talking more than just the biological parents. So wise and virtuous friends provide development and guidance. Mother Earth provides sustenance and life to all beings. So here we can see that the parents that Venerable Master Xing Yun was talking about is something or someone who helps us in whatever way, right? So it's not only, the how we get into this world. And in short, he is talking about the different causes and conditions and the effects, right? He's also talking about causes and conditions for us to have this kind of effects. Okay. And he also gave an example of, it's not coming out, another causes and parents, which is ignorance is like our father, and greed is like our mother. Of course, he's not saying that our father is ignorant and our mother is greedy, but he's saying that these two things will have an effect on us, right? If we keep on practicing these two things, then it will have an effect on us, on our lives. So, what have I gotten into? So this topic is, initially I thought I'm going to talk about these things. These are pictures from the Siddhartha the musical, which by the way was produced by Fokong San, and it started here in Cebu, in Chuon Temple, and done by Cebuano cast and directors and actors. So it has went worldwide already and several iterations. So all the while, I'll be talking about, this is Queen Maya and King Suddhodana. They bear a child called Siddhartha, who, by the way, said that I am the uniquely honored one in this world. I mentioned this because this will come out later. So in our ordinary way of thinking, King Suddhodana and Queen Maya bear a child who became a Buddha. And so in our ordinary way of thinking, we would say that the Buddha's mother is Queen Maya, right? But then Venerable Master Xing Yun did not meant this. So he meant that the Buddha was born out of prajna. It seems like this is not the case, right? But if you really analyze it, this is what it is, right? If no matter how many child the king and the queen will bear, if that child doesn't have prajna, then that child will never become a Buddha. So the question, if you see, is who is Buddha's mother, right? Venerable Master Xing Yun did not ask, who is Siddhartha's mother? So Siddhartha's mother is Queen Maya, but for Siddhartha to become a Buddha, he needs prajna. So in short, I was tricked into getting this topic. This topic is about prajna. Like we're reviewing the topic of Master Chetty. Okay, So Venerable Master Xing Yun is trying to talk about prajna in a different context. So what is prajna wisdom? So according to Venerable Master Xing Yun in the article, it is the true Buddha nature. And maybe you might ask, what is the true Buddha nature? It neither comes and goes, neither arises nor ceases, neither bound by time, space, nor discrimination. So in short, prajna wisdom is always with us. The same thing as Buddha nature. We always talk about Buddha nature, right? Well, at least I'm sure we have mentioned it somewhere in our previous topic. We all have Buddha nature. And the true Buddha nature is the prajna wisdom. And our Buddha nature and the prajna wisdom does not come and goes, neither arises nor ceases, and is not bound by time, space, or discrimination. Now, because if it is always with us, then how come we don't have prajna wisdom? Why aren't we able to use it? Why do we act with ignorance? So that is my question. Anybody has an answer? If no answer, later we will ask Master Yolin and Master Chi Yi. They're both here. So maybe they can enlighten us later. Okay? I will try to answer it according to my humanistic interpretation. I say humanistic, I did not add the Buddhism. Okay? Although, of course, you know, I'm influenced in terms of Buddhist teachings, right? From Venerable Master Xing Yun. I just don't want to claim. Okay? So from my own humanistic interpretation, prajna is always there. But we as a human become so dependent on our six senses. Because of our dependence on the six senses, we start to cling and attach to any sense pleasure that all our six senses can give us. And at the same time, if there is something that is unpleasant, we have an aversion to these things. We dislike these things. Or if it's a person, we dislike the person. Because all of these are based on the six senses. Okay, so being dependent on this are causing these things, whether we cling or we dislike. Then we start to act to satisfy this clinging to the sense pleasure. Okay, so from here we start to act. And if we are ignorant, if we use our ignorance, we don't understand that these things, the six sense pleasure, are inherently unsatisfactory. So we don't understand this. If we don't understand this, because of the unsatisfactoriness, we try to act again. So we end up with the cycle because of our ignorance. And what happened is our prajna here is now clouded. We cannot see it anymore. We cannot observe it. We forget about it because of our dependence on the six senses. Okay. So in the article, without prajna wisdom, let me clear the Without prajna wisdom, one views all phenomena as mundane dharmas because one is unable to recognize their true nature or understand one's true self. Only with prajna wisdom does one truly have a dharma. So without prajna wisdom, if we see this, we will insist that no, the Buddha is born, the Buddha's mother is Queen Maya, right? Just because we cannot observe prajna wisdom. You know, we always have this term, to see is to believe. In fact, in science, most of the studies of science, you know, these days we always hear people say, follow the science. But the science is inherently defective. Why? Because it is based on observable things, things that we can see, right? For example, prajna wisdom is very difficult to observe. So science might disagree that there is such a thing. Okay. So without prajna wisdom, we would insist that the Buddha's mother is Queen Maya. Right. Without prajna wisdom, we would see food as delicious. We would see food as something that will satisfy. Remember, one of the six senses, this time, food is to satisfy our tongue. As opposed to, if we have prajna wisdom, we would see food as something that is nutritious, something that can satisfy or develop or cultivate our whole body. You see the difference now? Without prajna wisdom, we are satisfying only the tongue. But with prajna wisdom, now we are satisfying our whole body. So even if we know that, for example, the food that we're eating are not good, it can cause sickness, cancer, and so many things, we cannot help it. Why? Because it's delicious, right? So you can see that we are dependent on the senses. We cannot help it because of the senses. So we have to somehow find ways to counter that. So many ways. Of course, meditation is one. Understanding is another way. Okay, the more we understand, the more we can let go, right? So even the 6 paramitas needs prajna wisdom. This was also discussed by Master Chetty. Generosity, we have to understand that giving without notion of giver, given, and gifts. Okay, and I would even add that we give without the notion or the thought of giving, right? If we always think of I'm giving something, pride might arise, right? Arrogance might arise. Oh, I'm giving a lot. Okay. Precepts or morality, apply precepts with wisdom. So again, precepts in Buddhist perspective is not like do's and don'ts. It should be applied with wisdom. Okay, it's not a fixed rule, do's and don'ts. Okay. Patience. I have talked about this also. Patience. If we just practice patience, it's like a, how do you call that? A pressure cooker. You keep on cooking. Now, if there's no pressure release, if the pressure is too much, it will just explode. But if we practice patience with understanding, then the pressure will not build up. Okay, so this is the practicing patience with wisdom. No? Of course, initially we just practice patience, but it's best that we learn and we understand the situation, why it happens, why people act certain ways. Diligence and effort, okay? Many times we feel that, oh, it's so tiring, right? But with prajna wisdom, we will understand that to do things, it's really not tiring, okay? We would understand that we just need to do it, okay? This actually helped me last year in my more than 50 years of life. Last year, because of the pandemic, our housemaid went home and we didn't allow them to come back because of the pandemic, because of the virus. So we end up with no housemaid. So we have to do house chores. I was the one bringing out the trash, washing the dishes and things like that for the first time in my life. But, you know, it's tiring, but, you know, if without wisdom, I could be grumbling every day. But with a little wisdom, you know, I just do it because I know I have to do it. So it's not like the mindset is different, right? There is better understanding on why we have to do things. Meditative concentration, okay? Awakening can only be attained with meditation. So meditation is really one of the important practice. I would say because when we are born, many times when we are walking, our parents may teach us to be careful when we are walking. But our thoughts, very few or very seldom will a parent remind us to be careful with our thoughts. So that's why our thoughts just go on its own, running around. So for a long time, our mind is so restless, and then how can you expect it to suddenly be still and calm without any practice? So meditation is really very important to calm our mind. And so prajna is needed, is extremely important because it is needed in everything, even the practice of the 6 paramitas. Okay. So where is prajna wisdom? Prajna wisdom is in daily life. Again, so this is the beauty of why Venerable Master Xing Yun emphasizes humanistic Buddhism, is to emphasize that whatever we learn, whatever we understood, we practice it in our daily life. So in this slide, I use this template. This slide template is to talk about, you know, schedule and timeline, and it shows January to December. So I use this because it represents that prajna wisdom should be used every day of the year. So in our experience, we have to have prajna, and we have to use prajna in understanding and learning from our experience. So whenever we travel with my kids, I would ask them, what did you learn from this travel? If there are difficult situations, whether we resolve it or not, I would ask them, what did you learn from that difficult situation? So the experience becomes prajna, becomes something for us to improve, right? Instead of just it being simply a bad experience, right? So we can change an experience into something good. Same thing when we go to competition, ice skating competition, whether they win or lose, I ask them, what did you learn? Or even watching their competitor, I ask them, what did you learn from them? Okay, so in eating, getting dressed, cooking, talking with friends, everything should have prajna wisdom. So especially nowadays, many people are eating and at the same time, so people go to this expensive restaurant eating, but I doubt if they really tasted the food because they're eating, but they're not eating. Okay. So I always tell my kids also, when you're walking, you walk. When you're eating, you eat. When you're studying, you study. So I guess it also helped them to focus. Even raising eyebrows, blinking, everything, every physical movement has prajna wisdom. So if somebody is talking to you and you react with, you know, the reaction itself, you can see, you can understand what it is, right? And you can ask yourself also, was my reaction with prajna wisdom? Right? So in the presence of plum blossoms, the same moon outside the window is then different. My wife, I always tell her, you know, for you, there's never the right temperature. If it's a bit too cold, oh, she complains it's too cold. A bit too hot, oh, she complains it's too hot. So there's nothing in between. But, you know, we can always change our mindset. Same thing. When it's sunny, she complains that it's so warm, it's so hot. When it's raining, she complains that it's gloomy. But for me, I say, when it's sunny, oh, it's nice. We can go outside and get some vitamin D. When it's rainy, oh, it's good because it's so cool. So the same situation can, you know, you can see it two different ways, right? So in short, many times how we feel in our life is because of how we perceive it. Right? So we might want to put more plum blossoms in our life so that everything would be nice. Okay, ordinary life infused with prajna wisdom is a life of liberation and ease. So if we have prajna wisdom, life would be, that's why the Buddha say that we can be liberated. Life will be easy. And for me, life can be fun, good, and enjoyable. Right? Because no matter what kind of experience, we can turn it around. So doctors, nurses who give first-rate medical care and look after the sick and the needy are practicing prajna wisdom. But then there are people who wants to study doctor because, oi, let's study doctor because we will earn a lot of money. So I guess that's different already, right? So firefighters who jump to the rescue without the thought of themselves are practicing prajna wisdom. Even street cleaners who serve the public by cleaning and sweeping streets are practicing prajna wisdom. So these people, they are doing things for the benefit of others to a point of, in the case of the firefighter, or maybe even the street cleaner, endangering themselves, right? The street cleaner might be run over by vehicles, right? For the benefit of others. So in doing good deeds, one has the hands of prajna. Speaking good words, one has the speech of prajna. Looking at others compassionately, one has the eyes of prajna. Having skillful wisdom and an awakened mind, one has a mind of prajna. I remember a few years back, this was something like, how long already? 25 years ago. I went through a training. It's called Dale Carnegie course. It was a very nice training. And in one of the sessions, we are paired with our classmates who actually are strangers because we meet each other once a week for a few weeks. So you hardly know them. We are paired randomly with them, with one of them, and we are supposed to say something good to the person. So at that time, it was really, really very hard for me. And when I started going to the temple, I learned about the 3 acts of goodness. Initially, it's also very hard for me, right? But nowadays, it becomes easier and easier because I try to practice it. So whatever happens, I try to see what's good. Whatever situation, I try to see how I can talk something good about that situation. And so it's also a practice, right? So over time, it becomes easier and easier. We will be more observant and we will be able to see the good instead of the bad, right? So for so many years, we are practicing seeing the bad. So all you see is bad. But when you start to practice to see the good, then, you know, more and more good things you'll be able to observe. So many of these people, you know, we always say that these are bodhisattvas doing things for the benefit of others. Okay. So in short, prajna is always with us, except that it is covered with clouds, but with the right cultivation, it can open up. And I use this picture. This is my painting actually, which I did last year. It's a painting by number. So, you know, they have drawings and they have numbers, and then you just follow the numbers and it comes out like that. So took quite a while. So prajna is in us, but unlike the Buddha is always everything is so clear, right? But for us, many times, you know, even we practice, the clouds will open up, but sometimes it will not last very long. It comes back and cloud our decision making, how we do things, you know. So we're not yet Buddha. The Buddha, when you become a Buddha, is like you're permanently awakened. For us, sometimes we are awakened and sometimes we are asleep again. Okay, so we try to practice to keep us awake more times, right? So hopefully with continuous practice and understanding, we will be able to do that. Okay. I have here a video and let's watch, and if you have comments, you can also comment. wants to comment about this video?
I remember. And very nice video.
Yeah.
Initially, they were like trying to get one for them, a scoop for them. Then later on, they realized that by helping each other, feeding each other, that is more convenient, and their hunger was satiated.
Yes.
So we help one another, not to be greedy also. Yeah, there's a story like that, right? The difference between heaven and hell. And in hell, people are so use long spoon daw, according to Master Chi, to reach someone far, to feed somewhere far away from you. I think it's good during pandemic for distance safety.
Yeah.
I
Anybody?
remember, right? Just like in hell, they like they grab for food, and they quarrel because of food. They want to, they want to get their own. No? Now, while in heaven, it's different. They feed each other using that long spoon.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
I'd like to add further.
Yes.
Observation is that, like Luisa said, in hell, the first few frames showed the people there trying to get food for themselves, so being selfish, trying to just feed themselves, and they ended up not eating, becoming even more hungry because the spoons are long, so they won't be able to. It's not convenient to feed yourself with such a long spoon. So they created their own hell by being selfish and by being greedy. Whereas towards the end, they were enlightened. Probably I don't know who started it, but when they started feeding the person next to them, the length of the spoon was convenient. It was good, and they were able to eat, and not only eat but also share the food.
Yeah.
And so the difference between heaven and hell, between having prajna and no prajna, between having enlightenment, a little enlightenment, and having the four, the greed, anger. Yeah, that's what I observed from the video. Thanks for sharing it, Erwin.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? So it was a very good observation. So we can see that because of ignorance, everybody just want everything for themselves. And then when this guy, his spoon break, compassion arise in this one person, and this girl tried to help the guy, right? And just that one person whose compassion arise in this situation, it affected the others in the same way. So the others tried to help also. So this is very nice because in our life, sometimes it just takes, one person to do good, and then the others will follow. Right? In the same thing, if somebody do something bad, the others will follow also. So we just need to counter that. Okay? So because of that, life has become beautiful for everyone. Okay. So just because one person has compassion arise in her. Here's another video. It's also very common.
เขาจะได้อะไร ถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวัน เขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลย ไม่ได้รวยขึ้น ไม่ได้ออกทีวี ไม่มีใครรู้จัก ไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้น เพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้ คือได้แค่ความรู้สึก ได้เห็นความสุข ได้เข้าใจ ได้ความรัก ได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิม ในชีวิตคุณ อะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
Any comment about this video? No more? Okay, so sometimes people do certain things and we might think that this person is crazy. Monica, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say this guy looks like he gives, not waiting for response. He's giving from his heart, and he's not waiting that he get something back.
Yes.
But he is very happy when he see that others are happy.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So
I
you-
think that's the right way to give.
Yes. So you can see that he's practicing the paramita of generosity with wisdom, right? Because he's not expecting anything in return. And as I was saying, the people who saw him do these things might even think that he's crazy, right? There's two guy in the story where they saw him and they think that, why are you doing this, you know? And
Yeah,
sometimes,
it doesn't matter him. Yeah, he lives in his universe. He doesn't take any response to the guy who shook his head and say he's crazy. It doesn't matter for him.
yeah,
He's
it
doing his
doesn't affect him.
his
Yeah.
wisdom.
So that's also very important, right? Sometimes we're doing something good. There are people who will put us down. We should know that we're doing good, so don't be afraid to do it. Because I notice sometimes in this world, you're doing something good, people will put you down, they will laugh at you. Yeah, they will even ask you as if you're doing something bad. Why are you doing that? Right? So that's why we have to know that our intention is good, and we know that the effect will be good also. Then we just need to do it. Okay. So here in the third picture, I put there that the child is asking money for education. I notice also sometimes when we donate or do something, give someone, and people will ask, should we give? Because maybe they're not going to use it for education. Sometimes when you give, you don't need to think what that person will do. They said they will use it for education. It's their problem if they did not use it for education. They said it's going to be used for education. You give thinking that they will use it for education. If they did not, it's their problem. It's not ours. Right? Of course, there are situations when you really know that they will not use it in the right way. So of course, in those situations, we should not give, right? So very nice story. And I watched this several times. Every time I get teary-eyed.
Actually, I can say that it's like he's not, happiness cannot be bought. No, cannot be bought. No, it's not about money will bring you happiness. Most things, simple things can make you happy
Yes.
by giving.
This video is actually an advertisement of an insurance
It's a
company.
commercial of an insurance, I think. Insurance.
Yeah, insurance. So
I like that video also.
in Thailand, they're very good in making this kind of video, very touching video with a very nice storyline. I noticed the Filipinos are trying to emulate it, but not as good. Sorry to say, but they still need to improve.
True.
So, prajna in daily life. So again, Venerable Master Xing Yun cannot emphasize it enough. Prajna should be in daily life. Wherever prajna is found, it is a place worthy of honor. Therefore, a person who is able to experience, practice, and share prajna wisdom with others is the most honorable one in this world. So that's why earlier I mentioned about when Siddhartha was born, he said, I am the uniquely honored one in this world. So he is uniquely honored one, yes. But if we practice prajna wisdom, we are also an honorable one, right? And we should practice prajna wisdom in our experience, apply it in our experience. We should try to practice it and share. Okay, many people, they're very quick to share their cigarettes. They're very quick to share their alcoholic drinks. But many people, they know something good, but they're ashamed to share it. Right? So, baliktad, it's reverse. Okay, we should not be ashamed. And also, the more we share it, especially to the people around us, then the more the people around us will have prajna wisdom, and it will help our life get better. Right? So timing. Venerable Master Yolin shared this early this week. So the water of wisdom cleanses us of delusion and discrimination. The lamp of prajna lights our inner world. So it's just related to our topic this week. Okay. So the water of wisdom. We use water to clean our body. We need to use wisdom to clean ourselves of delusion and discrimination and ignorance. Okay. And once we clean that, it's like the clouds, we clean it out, and then prajna will light our world. It says here inner world, and then our inner world will light the outside world. Right? So it will light how we see outside, and it will light other people's life. It will light other people will like looking at you, right? I'm sure you've met people wherein this is the first time you see that person, but somehow you like this person. In the same way, there's also the opposite, right? You just saw this person, you don't like that person already. You don't know why. Okay. So that's all I can share for this topic. I hope I'm able to share something useful and where you can apply. And I hope it's really useful because I didn't expect to be talking about this topic. So any questions, or Master, you want to add something? I'll stop my sharing so we can see everyone.
Thank you, Sir Arvind, for the beautiful discussion and presentation.
Thank you.
You can see your effort in looking for Queen Maya. But at last, to us about the Prashna.
Yes.
With the video and the PPT that you presented is very clear and nice, easy to understand. I also like it so much, and I also learn from you too. Thank you. About just now that you say if when we eat, we just think, oh, the food is delicious, and then with prashna, then we'll see it. The food is actually with nutrition, and then I remember what we have in our dining hall that hang behind Happy Buddha, the 5 contemplation in the dining hall, that is saying what are the 5 contemplation. Do you remember? Anyone remember? Or do you know about it?
Partly. That something like there's a lot of causes and condition for us to be able to have this food here. And this food is it's like a medicine to keep our body healthy. I don't know what else. There's 5.
And then you printed the tapulin back.
Yeah. I should print it in front here.
Okay, I share that PowerPoint. Can you allow?
It's up. Okay.
So that I hope before we eat also we will have the contemplation. Okay. So basically, first we will think about the origin. Where is the origin of the food? The causes and condition. How many people has already put in effort, and how do I deserve to have this bowl of rice? Then yeah, that's perfect on one's own moral conduct, perfect or not, that take this offering. Especially us in the temple, everything is came from the donors. Do I deserve to have this? Do I have cultivation? Do I practice every day to discern? So third, safeguard the mind against all error, or not to give rise to hatred or greed. Oh, when I like this, I will eat more. When I don't like, then oh, how come you send me this food? Not delicious, not delicious. So I will not eat that. So regard this food as good medicine. So I treat the weakened body. So as what you mentioned just now, not just for the healthy, but also to make us realize, self-realization, in order to accomplish this way, so that I will accept this. So I will accept this. After I eat, then I can continue my cultivation, and then share the goodness to others also. So that I deserve to have this food. It's part of the cultivation.
So that's applying prajna in eating, Sepo.
Yes, that's applying prajna in eating, not just delicious. Wish the restaurant is nice.
Yeah.
And then also you also mentioned about something doing good deeds and all. For me lang, I have insight in to practice 3 acts of goodness. We really need persistence, regardless of what people will say, how people think and all. At this time, I think we have to have non-self in terms of we don't care of what in return, and how will people say thank you to you, or if the people will criticize you in doing this thing. But then we just know that our intention of doing this is benefit to not just ourselves but also others. So the 2 videos that I watched, so I like it so much. I same with Sir. No, I've been watching that, and also I have tearing eyes. And so yeah, many things that we cannot buy. Not just money can buy, and we get it. Like we can buy a nice bed, but then we cannot buy a nice sleep. So this is also sleeping prajna. How do we sleep with prajna? With no worry.
Yeah.
How do we practice no worrying? Like the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva in the Heart Sutra, Guan Zi Zai, stay at ease all the time. How do we do so? Yeah. So I think one of it is less desire. So we don't, if I have more things, like if I have branded handbag or car or anything, then maybe I will, my handbag cannot keep here, later people might take it. Or my sport car parking in the parking lot, and I will worry if someone will scratch it or someone will get it. So that worry, Then also the relationship with people, do I attach with it and all? That is also we have to apply prajna in. That is so because this a few months also, I mean since last year, I was thinking, why is it Master Shin is asking us to recite the Heart Sutra immediate when the pandemic time, out of many sutra, why is it Heart Sutra? And then I also try to study and get the essence of it. What is that from the Heart Sutra? And also recently, because I have also study group with my family, so we discussed about this. Like yesterday, my dad is he has just a minor surgery on his hand, and then before the surgery, doctor put in anesthesia, so he won't feel anything. But when he go home, he feel the pain. And then my mom say, just now doctor asked you, is it pain? And you said it's not pain, and then you don't want to get any medicine, but now you feel pain already. So actually, I think my mom is very, because my dad had my dad is hands pain, but my mom maybe had pain. But then I just share. I say that is good that will feel pain, because he still have feeling. We will be more worried if he will not feel pain at all. That means something wrong with the nerve and the hand. So there I can see the smile from my dad, that maybe he turned his thinking, and yeah, maybe he will feel better and relief. Yeah, at least I will feel the pain. The same like when we doing meditation. Of course, if you're not get used to, our leg will feel numb, and some might be moving around because feel uneasy, with the body ache, and also that. But after a few time of practicing, I also tell myself it's good that I can feel my body. I can feel the pain, I can feel the numbness and all. I can feel the chi. So that means I'm still alive, I'm healthy. What if I cannot feel at all? So I'm abnormal now. So that is I think one way of we keep practicing the 3 acts of goodness, the positive thinking. Look at the bright side. Maybe I'm not Buddha no, but then always believe in what Buddha say. We are Buddha in the future. Or what Master Xing is always emphasize, encourage us to say, I am Buddha. So if I am Buddha, then what should I do? I will just get the responsibility right away. So I'm Buddha, I will not smoke. I am Buddha, I will not argue with others. I will learn tolerance and all those things. So that is also prajna of life. How do we really practice prajna in our daily life? So yeah, that is my sharing, my insights after seeing the presentation of Sir Erwin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Safo. That's very nice. Anybody else wants to share something? When you talk about the worry, Basafo, when we're trying to sleep, I really appreciate the things that I learned from Buddhism and Master Xing Yun, because we understand that the more good things that we do, then the less problem, the less difficulties that we will face. So it gives me the chance to think that anyway, the bad things will not happen that much, right? So you don't need to worry too much. So when we understand what is the cause of something good and what is the cause of something bad, and you try to avoid doing the cause that will result in something bad, then you don't need to worry, right? So if we have that understanding, then we can sleep better. Right.
May I say something to
Yes.
this? I have the experience that with practicing after some years, you experience the same bad thing as before, but the quality for yourself is not as bad as before. You are more relaxed, and you know it will change again, and you have faith in the future. And with practicing, you be more relaxed to face the bad obstacles.
That's a very good observation, because remember, even if we practice good already, there are still past causes for bad things to happen. But the beauty that what you're saying is now you're reacting more positively. So now you are creating the new good causes for it to be better in the future. So you're changing the course of that bad already, right? But that takes a lot of wisdom, a lot of clear mind, because if our mind is not clear, we would just react, by getting angry also. So it needs practice and removing the clouds so we can understand the situation.
I just would like to share how I am able to conquer worry. But of course, Buddhism was part of my. This is also been written by a very, very well-known Buddhist monk, Sri Dhammananda, and I keep reading this. Actually, this is mostly it's about loving kindness, and it really did help me a lot. But right now, I think Master Yulin also know that I'm very much into the Heart Sutra also. So it also helps me in conquering my worry. So right now, this is what I do. Whenever there's something problem, so let's just say what's happening right now is about the vaccine. Okay, so many my friends is telling me they don't want to get the vaccine. Even if the vaccine was in front of them, it is available in their hand, they're not going to take the shots. So, and then some of my friends will tell me, don't get the vaccine. It might get side effects. What will happen to you? Another people will say, no, you have to get the vaccine. It is for your own protection. So what is the right thing to do? It's very hard to answer, right? So my answer is this. You know what? Life, we have only one life. What we can do is first, we study whatever the available vaccine. We read each of the vaccine, and then we take the good judgment from it, and then take responsible. Either you take it or you don't take it, it's your life. You don't take it, you might get COVID, you die. You take the vaccine, you might be saved from the COVID, but there's a possibility that you might die also from the side effects. So either way, you might die. So why worry? We're all going to die. So what is my take? My take is, in the meantime, there's a solution for the COVID. Right now, there's a solution for the COVID. Isn't it that we only think of now in the presence? Presence right now, there's a solution. And the solution right now is we have a vaccine for the COVID. We just think of right now, we take the vaccine, we are somehow being protected by the problem of now. Why think about the next future, about the side effects? We don't know. Diba? So it is upon your judgment. Either way, I cannot tell you which one is right, which one is wrong. It is your life. Either you take it or you don't take it. It's the same. So basically, I don't, thanks to the Heart Sutra, and in the Heart Sutra, the first sentence is, the Bodhisattva got the prajna wisdom to ichekuo, and everything was about impermanence, about non-selves, about dukkha, and it really helps me to think, yeah, I don't have the right answer because I am just a human. So what I can do is I share to you what I choose, why I choose to do this thing, I share to you. You want to take it, good. You don't want to take it, good. I respect your life, your responsibility. My life, my responsibility. I care for you, and I hope you care for me, and that's it. So do not get pressured by the outside forces because we have only one life. So take responsible and be happy. You take it, be happy. You don't take it, be happy. Do not listen to other people because the only the only one that really knows about it is deity, the God, the Buddha, Jesus Christ. They're the one who really knows what's the right answer for the pandemic, right? And we are here as a human to learn what is we're trying to learn. Hopefully in time we will be in that level of Buddhahood that we're going to learn also everything. We're going to learn these things,
Okay.
right? So in the meantime, just enjoy
So do we
your
have
life.
anything to share also? Yes. Talking about chanting the sutra or the Buddha's name. For me also sometimes for things that is beyond our control, I also do that. And there are so many things that are beyond our control. So for example, if talking about this vaccine, we can always chant the Heart Sutra and dedicate merits that everyone who will have this vaccine will have the right causes and condition to be protected from the virus. So in short, we're chanting, and then when we dedicate merits, it's not only for ourselves, but also for others. So, you know, I find that it really helps. So this is something you might say miraculous or something, but it does happen, right? Yeah, I always do that for whether it's something very difficult or something very easy. I do that also. Okay. Any more questions? Any more comments? Sharing?
Happy to see Paul back. Long time no see.
It's been present for the past few weeks already, Sapo.
Yes.
Luisa, you're raising your hand.
No, I'm saying that if we apply Prajna wisdom in our thoughts, words, and action, life will become easier and happier. And I like the last part what Venerable Master Xing Yun described, that when you use Prajna wisdom, it's like watching the moon over the window and there's a plum blossoms. Very beautiful. I like that part. I like the way Venerable Master Xing Yun writes, because he leads us to more than what is found there literally, beyond a reflection. So that shows how deep his Prajna wisdom is.
Yeah, like how he titled this article.
Yes, yes.
Forced me to talk about Prajna. Because the title is Prajna Wisdom, I wouldn't have chosen this topic.
I also was wondering, for the first time I will hear about Queen Maya, and I was surprised when I read this.
So I guess it was very smart for Master to use the title. Master Chi, you have anything to share?
Not really, but just the mothers of the Buddha is the Prajna. Do you know who's the teacher? The teachers of Buddha.
I don't know. Buddha Dipankara.
You can find in many places. Maybe that will be the questions for all. If you don't know, even Peter, you also don't know. Who's the teachers of Buddha?
Is it the intrinsic nature? Is that what you're referring to? I'm
The
not sure.
Dharma teaching. The Dharma teaching is the teacher of the Buddha.
The Dharma teaching.
The Dharma. The
Dharma
one.
is the teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah.
But who's the teachers of the Buddha?
He's the former Buddha before him. And
Yes.
all of the Bodhisattva that he met along the way, those are all his teachers.
So do you know the name? I think some of us know he or her. You can search it, the teachers of the Buddha. And do remember the Buddha that I mean is not Sakyamuni Buddha only. Louisa Sije, you also don't know?
Which one? The teacher of Buddha?
Yes, the teacher.
The teacher of Buddha?
Yes.
Sa Kong An ma?
No.
Kong An.
It's not Kong An.
Actually, asked me
Not
what's
for
the
you.
original face before Buddha was born.
Yes, Och. You want to say something?
Same as
Maybe the teachers of Buddha are
His father
sentient
and
beings
mother.
because
It's who?
because all sentient beings, because all of us are Buddhas and we're learning from each other.
Okay. Okay, so you can search it. You will be very happy and surprised when you see the answer.
You mean you're not going to tell us, po?
No?
Maybe it's Buddha himself,
You will search
inherent nature of everyone.
so that you can search.
Okay, homework. It's a homework, Erwin.
Homework.
No, everyone's homework.
Since you want to know the mother, then let us find out who's the teacher.
If you find the answer, post it in the messenger.
Yes, you will be very happy and surprised when you see the name. I think Peter or Luisa or maybe Sir Och, you can find it very fast since you know Chinese especially. Okay. And also like what Erwin mentioned, also sharing about the eating. I think he really practices like the story that we study or that we read last week about the meditative concentrations. There is it's really the Kong An between the Chan master and the lay persons when the Chan master say that the Chan is eat and sleep. And then the lay person say, I also do that. So what's the difference between the lay persons and the Chan master? That is what we read last week. And it's in there. So that is really how to practice after the meditative concentrations. That is the Prajna, like Reverend Jyoti mentioned. And then now this week also the topic about the Prajna, that is the mothers of Buddha. So who's the one teach Buddha about Prajna?
The mother.
Okay, thank you, Tess. I like to share. Thank you.
Okay, so we have something to worry about. It's almost time. So any last word, Master Yolin, before we go for the dedication of merits?
Mona, maybe we can already dedicate the merits
Yes.
that we learned today. So hope that everyone will gain prajna wisdom and share with more people.
Okay.
And remember, do not share secret and alcohol, but then we have to share the prajna.
Okay. So we'll have the dedication of merits and then turn on your video after. So we'll have picture taking.
Joy
you again.